Hello, this is Janet Michael. In addition to hosting the Valley Today each weekday at noon on the River 95.3, I also produce podcasts, and I'm excited to introduce you to a new podcast series in partnership with Lord Fairfax Community College. Having provided higher education and career training for the past half-century, LFCC is tightly interwoven into the fabric of the Northern Shenandoah Valley and Piedmont regions. Join me every week for conversations with current and former students to hear their funny and inspiring stories as we learn about their journey to higher education, the role that LFCC has played, where they are now, and where they plan to go. We'll also talk to current and former professors about their experiences and best memories of LFCC over the past 50 years. Get every single episode as they're released on our website at theriver953.com under the podcast tab, or you can subscribe for free in Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, on Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search for LFCC Stories. Hello, and welcome to the Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Wednesday. As you are listening to the show today, it is the Valley Business Today, and we are talking about business startups mostly. I've got a return guest on the screen pre-recording with me today. Ryan Hall is here. He is and I love this, an entrepreneurial ecosystem builder with Shenandoah Community Capital Fund. We're going to talk about Startup Shenandoah Valley. We talked about this, Ryan, back in October when you were on the show. You were just kicking off your first round, and you're already at your third round, and it hasn't even been a year.
That's right. Yeah, we are starting our third round, and we're looking for applicants for Startup Shenandoah Valley right now, actually. Applications are open.
So tell me about the program. What is it? How does it work?
Yeah, so we're looking for startups or small businesses in the Shenandoah Valley that have the ability to really scale. So they're going to make a big impact on they could make a big impact on the economy of the Shenandoah Valley, or hire multiple people, that sort of thing. And our goal is to help them get access to the tools and resources and people that they need to be successful at that. And so for our program, what that looks like, the applicants who are accepted go through about 8 weeks of one-on-one coaching, and the coach goes through their business plan and really takes a look at all of the risky assumptions in their business model, the things that they think they know, but they're not quite sure. They've never tested it out. And we work with them on that, and we test it, and we make sure. So that way they know for a fact that they, whatever the issue is, they have some data around it. And so they can make better decisions. And we teach them kind of a process to run through that very quickly. That way they can continue on after this program, experimenting and testing things so that they can grow and expand and help the economy of the Shenandoah Valley.
So when you say the Shenandoah Valley, I know a lot of us, in a local sense, we think of the Shenandoah Valley as Winchester to, maybe Newmarket, but the Shenandoah Valley in reality is much larger than what a lot of us think of it as.
Yeah. Actually, I'm talking to you today from Buena Vista. So we service a region from Frederick County all the way down to Rockbridge County. So it's about a 2.5-hour drive down 81 to span the entire thing.
It's one of the things that I learned. I joined the board of the Shenandoah Valley Travel Association a couple of years ago, and that was my first education into just how big the Shenandoah Valley actually is.
Right. Yeah, it's huge. And there are so many people in the Shenandoah Valley with ideas, or, maybe they've already started small businesses and they just need a little bit of help. And we have wonderful partners in the Shenandoah Valley too, like the small business development centers and our local universities and things like that. And so we try to be a connector organization for all of those resources, in addition to providing our own programming.
So when we talked, it was the end of October 2020, and applications were going to be available until the middle of November for that first round. How did it go? How many people did you choose? What did that process look like?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we had over 30 applicants to that first round, and we ended up choosing, or we had 7 go through the program at that time. And they're doing some pretty incredible things already. So the interesting thing about our program compared to like others across the country is that oftentimes people will choose, one specific industry like technology, right? And for us, we live in a more rural area, so we decided we should be a little more open to industry. So we had folks that were in light manufacturing. We had a toy maker. We had a cybersecurity company. There were just all kinds of different folks, some agriculture or ag tech folks. And so what we've seen out of that first cohort is really just kind of a more just growth across the board, really. For instance, our cybersecurity individual is now closing contracts with government entities, and he's on track to hire about 30 people in the next 3 years, which is
Nice.
really, really, really fantastic win for him and his company.
And you did this whole program, and then you were telling me before we started recording, oh, but wait, Janet, we're already on our 3rd round. So you got through that first round and then had a whole nother 2nd round before you and I are having this conversation less than a year later in the middle of a pandemic, I might add.
I guess we're just really excited about what we do. We just love helping people in our communities, right? Yeah, so we did have another round, and those folks are about to finish their coaching sessions. And so again, we had over 30 applicants. So total in all, since October, we've had about 60 applications to the program, which is really incredible. And I think what's intriguing about the 2nd cohort is about 80% of them identified with some underrepresented community, right? So women-owned businesses or minority-owned business, something to that effect. And so we were really excited to be able to help those businesses develop a path to scale. And so, yeah, they are working through their program right now. And then at the end of this month, on the 29th, there is a virtual showcase. So you can come and listen to all of these individuals and learn what they learned in the program and what they thought the benefits were, and get to know them a little bit, at least virtually.
And are you finding now that you've been through these 2 rounds that even though these businesses that are going through the program are fairly different in their industries, they have a lot of common problems and common issues together?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, well, the big problem facing everybody right now is hiring, right? There is a huge issue with just finding enough people or enough applicants for a job for just to be employed. So, that one specifically in this most recent cohort has been a big topic. But even down to just more administrative things or more organizational things, the biggest question or the biggest hurdle that we have with a lot of entrepreneurs, and I'm sure our partner organizations would say the same thing. An entrepreneur wears a lot of hats at work, and then on top of that, they have families and they're involved in their communities. And so having time, being able to carve out time to do what they need to do and think about strategy is one of the big first hurdles that we try to tackle, and teaching some skills around how to set aside at least a little bit of time every day, or at least once a week to work on building your business and getting out of the weeds of the day-to-day.
And I think that's what so many small business owners, even medium and sometimes large business owners, get trapped in, is working in the business instead of working on the business. And that could cause massive failure, but it also sometimes causes huge success, which then brings its own new set of problems.
Yeah, absolutely. And we found too that like the entrepreneurs start to, because we're using this kind of cohort model where they're all moving through the program together, they start to find interesting synergies or ways to share information. And so, we have currently a logistics company from Winchester in our program, but we also have an Amazon fulfillment warehouse in Waynesboro. And so they were able to share contacts, right? It's not the same industry exactly, but they kind of work in the same fields. And then we have a really wonderful individual from a general store in Shenandoah County who's
John
working.
Henry?
It is John Henry, yes. Henry
He's done the show with me. He's got a fantastic place over there in Newmarket.
He does. He's been able, we were just having a conversation yesterday about he wanted to work with some of his other cohort members. One makes spatulas, Dryad Cookery. They're also in Shenandoah County. And then we have a chef from Stevens City, DAH Cuisines, and they're trying to work on a really cool project that I'm going to leave for them to surprise the public with.
Well, and it's funny as you're saying this, I'm thinking, wait, I know John Henry General Store. And then you mentioned the spatulas. I was just having a conversation a few weeks ago with Susan Haynes from Clementine's in Strasburg. And she was telling me about this spatula guy that she had. And I'll bet you it's the same thing. So you're giving me a list of potential guests for the show, whether you even realize it or not.
Yeah, I mean, how many spatula guys in Strasburg could there be, right? It's got to be.
I know, right? And who doesn't always need more than one spatula for more than one occasion?
Right. Right. Yeah. And what's interesting about his product is he's specifically making spatulas for cast iron skillets, which is a huge niche market, especially in the Shenandoah Valley, because we have so many folks coming here, like tourists coming here to experience, campers, the Appalachian Trail, all of those things. And so it just makes so much sense. And it really fits with, what we know the Shenandoah Valley is, right?
Oh yeah. Cast iron's having a moment. The millennials have discovered the cast iron skillet. So there is going to be a whole niche market for anybody that can create anything to make that cast iron skillet even more cool and more usable, even though we've known for years how amazing they were.
Right. Yeah. And that's, and hopefully we've helped Brian position himself to be there to take advantage of it and build a really, really cool company right here in the Shenandoah Valley.
All right, Brian, if you're listening, you need to reach out to me. Go to the river953.com and click on the staff page and send me an email so I can get you on a show. So, Ryan, let's take a quick break. When we come back, let's talk about this new third round, how it's going to work, who you're hoping will do the applications, what the deadline is. And I want to make sure we touch on the fact that there is no charge to the participants and no equity requirements, which is very different from a lot of accelerator and incubator programs that you'll see across the country.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And I think in large part that's due to us. We are a nonprofit organization and we're here again to kind of help the community and build a stronger economy across the region. And we've had really excellent partners. In fact, this program was funded through a Go Virginia grant. So I'd be remiss if I didn't give them a shout out during this call. But yeah, it is free and we don't require any equity in your company.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue this conversation with Ryan Hall. He is an entrepreneurial ecosystem builder. I love that I can say that without falling over it because it's such a cool title. With the Shenandoah Community Capital Fund, we are talking about Startup Shenandoah Valley today. When we come back, we're going to talk about how you can get an application in or maybe tell somebody that you know, a small business owner that you know about this program. We'll do all of that in just a couple of minutes.
Got a financial decision to make or a goal to reach, but you don't know where to start? You've come to the right place. Introducing Quick Money Chats with the Northern Shenandoah Valley Financial Education Program. Visit tinyurl.com/quickmoneychat to schedule a virtual chat with a staff member or trained volunteer. We won't tell you what to do, but we will give you the tools you need to choose wisely. And because Virginia Cooperative Extension is part of Virginia Tech and Virginia State, your land-grant universities, you can be sure that our information is credible and trustworthy. And you'll know that we aren't trying to sell you something. Maybe you want to improve your credit score, or reduce your banking overdraft fees, or even figure out if you can afford to buy that car. Sorting through tons of information on the internet can be overwhelming, and sometimes it can be hard to know who to trust. Schedule a Quick Money Chat and get the information you need to take action. Go to tinyurl.com/quickmoneychat and get financial education personalized for you.
Welcome back to the Valley today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Wednesday. As you are listening to the show today, we have pre-recorded our conversation with Ryan Hall. He is an entrepreneurial ecosystem builder, and you're going to find out exactly what that means when we continue our conversation now about Startup Shenandoah Valley. It is a program through the Shenandoah Community Capital Fund. They are in round 3 at this point, so you are now accepting applications for more businesses to join this program and go through this whole thing to be bigger and more successful and great business owners, right, Ryan?
That's right. Yeah. And the application process was built kind of in this really inclusive way. We want to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to participate. Because sometimes we know that folks have a really great idea for a business, but maybe they don't have any business experience, or they don't know who to reach out to for help, or maybe, they just haven't had the time yet. They just had the idea, and our application process is open, and so they want to get started on it right away. And so, you can find our application at sccfva.org, and I'll mention that again, I'm sure. But when you go there, the interest form is, you might be kind of surprised. We don't ask really anything about your financials, because you may be pre-revenue, you may have not made any sales yet. I don't even think we ask for your business name. You might not have one yet. Really, we want to find people who are ready and willing to jump into their business and take it to the next level, and they're committed to that idea and learning more about how to make that business scale and make it successful here in our region. And so after you fill out that interest form, you'll get a call from myself or one of my staff, and we will work with you to set up a meeting and let you know about the resources that are available to you throughout the region. Again, like our SBDCs, or universities or other programs, and then talk with you about whether this program would be a good fit. And then if it is, we ask you to kind of record a video, just a few minutes, talking about your idea or your company and where you are. And that goes through a committee process, and some really wonderful folks, some volunteers throughout the region, make kind of the final list for us, and then we start curriculum. So then it's 8 weeks of content, and for this round, that would be mid-October, October 11th, I believe, we would start the actual curriculum. Usually that's about like 3 to 4 hours a week, so not too much.
And this is all virtual. That one of the things too that makes it really nice is that this is all virtual. People are not coming from Winchester to where you are in Buena Vista or vice versa. They can do this all online. Yeah.
And I have to admit, that wasn't like that
wasn't a COVID thing.
Right. It was kind of a happy accident. Because of the region is so large, because we cover Frederick County to Buena Vista to Rockbridge County, we planned this from the beginning to be a virtual accelerator, and then, fast forward 6 months and COVID hits, and it just kind of worked out. And so that's why we've been able to kind of continue our program even throughout all of the pandemic and the shutdown and things of that nature. So it's really kind of worked out well for us. And so, it was, there are very few in-person meetings. If our founders want to get together in person, that's up to them. And sometimes they do, and they build those relationships and they want to, but so applications are open now, and they're open until August 27th. And again, the program starts, the curriculum part of the program starts October 11th. So if you're thinking about the program, kind of maybe look at your schedule in October and kind of count out six weeks and make sure that you've got some time to give during that time frame, during that time of year. But then even after the program, once you've kind of went through that curriculum, a lot of other programs will take you through curriculum and then kind of look for the next set of folks and move on, so to speak. With us, we wanted to provide that kind of wraparound support. So after you move through the curriculum, we kind of provide workshops and podcasts and opportunities for you and your cohort to meet with, as a group, every couple weeks, just to kind of keep that momentum going. And then it helps us kind of check in and make sure that, nothing's going haywire and, you don't need any more assistance and things of that nature.
I love that you take the time with each of these rounds to customize the curriculum to the particular group of people that are going to be participating in that round. It's not this is our curriculum, so now we have to find people that will fit this. You really do it the other way around. Yeah.
We didn't want to kind of have a what we kind of call a stand and deliver program where, someone's just standing at the front of the classroom and like talking to you about marketing or something to that effect. And there is definitely value in that type of program. But for this, we really wanted to pay particular attention to you as a business owner and your plans and where you wanted to go and your goals, and then help see if we can actually get there, right? It's just much more sustainable that way. And we feel it gives a greater value to the individual. And so that's why when I mentioned that we had 30 applicants and we only took 7 the first round and 9 the second round, we do kind of, we have to take a smaller pool than the full 30. We can't take everyone that applies.
So what happens to the people that don't make the cut? Do you send them to these other resources that you were talking about? You don't just kind of shut the door in their face and say, sorry, you can apply again next round, but we have nothing here for you.
Right. Yeah. And that's kind of the ecosystem part of my title, right? So yeah, absolutely. We partner with the folks at the Valley SBDC down in Harrisonburg and Lord Fairfax Small Business Development Center, and as well as many, many other programs, universities, VEDP at the state level. So yeah, it's once we've kind of know about you, we try to keep engaged with you and try to find some program that might be a good fit for you, even if S2V is not the program for you right now.
So where can people go to get this interest form and at least start the process?
Yeah, great question. So that is sccfva.org and then /S2V. So the Shenandoah Community Capital Fund, VA, sccfva.org.
And it is open to everyone. It doesn't matter what your particular industry is. You don't even have to have necessarily already started your business. You could just have this idea floating in your head. You're looking for a commitment level and a passion level, I would guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, and I know you've talked about this on your show before. Big fan. I listen. So, it's an unfortunate fact, but, most small businesses fail, right, within the first 2 to 3 years. But one of the things that we kind of take solace in is, if we find individuals that are passionate about small business, passionate about being entrepreneurs, and we can give them these skills, maybe this idea that they have now doesn't succeed, but their next idea might, or their third idea. So we want to make sure that people in the Valley have the skills that we can teach them about, so that they're successful in the future.
Now, you mentioned a minute ago about a virtual showcase. When and where is that going to happen? Because I want to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send you the invite. So this is a Zoom showcase. So anybody from around the world technically could watch it. And there should be a link on our website for that showcase. But it is taking place on the 29th of July. So from 6 to 8 p.m. So you can check out the stories from all of our entrepreneurs in the second cohort.
Which is great because that gives people who are listening the opportunity to support them, because that's the other piece of this. You can give all of these business owners all the tools and all the resources that they need to be successful. But if we as consumers and residents don't support the businesses in our community, then it makes it even more difficult for them to succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're potentially thinking about applying, this gives you kind of an opportunity to jump in and hear it from the entrepreneurs that have gone through the program and find out if it's something that, is right for you.
Yeah, don't disqualify yourself. Listen to what everybody else has done and think, oh, wait, that's exactly what I was thinking. Maybe I could do this, and then get your interest form filled out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Ryan, I appreciate you taking some time out of your day so far away today to record the show.
No, it's great. I will always want to jump in and have an opportunity to talk with you and your listeners. Again, big fan of the show, so I appreciate everything you do for our local small businesses.
And the same for you, because I love that you're helping so many of the ones that I know about now. I'm so excited that in this round, the current round, that there are so many people that I know. I'm so excited. I can't wait to watch the showcase. So thanks again. I will be back tomorrow. It is Traffic Safety Thursday. That means it is my one live show of the month with Lieutenant Warren Gosnell from the Frederick County Sheriff's Office. I will do a little teaser and tell you that it is going to be Gaz's last show for a few months. I'm not going to tell you why. We'll tell you why when you tune in tomorrow a few minutes after noon, but it will be traffic safety, and I'm sure I will give him grief about something. You don't want to miss that, so meet me back here then.